for the Twins. And we'll have some very impressive outings for Baker this year against the Cleveland Indians. Comes in 4-0 with an ERA of 0.93 against the Indians. 29 innings pitched, only 3 earned runs allowed.
First pitch down and away to Michael Brantley. He'll be followed by Jamie Carroll and then as Asdrubal Cabrera. 2-0. Brantley with a good audition here in September for the Indians.
He's hit in 10 of the 12 ball games he's played in. Made some nice defensive plays last night.
And getting a chance to play because Grady Sizemore, their fixture in center, has been put on the disabled list and will be presumably ready to go next year after surgery. 2-2.
Taking a little off that fastball right there. Baker evens the count at 2-2. Brantley only 22 years old, the son of Mickey Brantley, a former Seattle Mariner major league player.
Half swing, I think he went. Strike 3, 1 away. Menard's batting order for the Indians, and it's a refurbished, retooled batting order with all the trades they went through. Brantley leading off, Jamie Carroll hitting second, Asdrubal Cabrera, Johnny Peralta, Travis Hafner with pretty good numbers against Baker, then Andy Marte, Matt Laporta, Lou Marson, and Trevor Crowe.
Well, Baker making his 29th start, his 5th against the Indians. Already talked about his domination so far this season against the Indians. He's coming off his first loss in over 2 months. And that was that 3-2 loss to Toronto last Thursday. He has been pitching outstanding baseball.
1 strike to Jamie Carroll. Carroll has evolved into kind of a super utility player for the Indians. We've seen him in the middle infield before. Hadn't seen him in the outfield until we were in Cleveland. He played some out there and now back in the infield.
Yeah, solid hitter at the major league level in his 2nd season with the Indians. Came up with the Expos, then part of that national team that moved to Washington, the Rockies, and now here in Cleveland. Oh, wow, Baker hitting his spots and making his pitches early.
The defense for the Twins, brought to you by Northland Ford. Delman Young in left, Denard Span in center, Jason Kubel in right, Carlos Gomez not starting. Tolbert, Cabrera, Punto, and Kadire around the infield, and Joe Mauer behind the plate. 2 swinging strikeouts to start the game, and now Asdrubal Cabrera.
Baker's first start this year back on June 4th here against the Cleveland Indians. He struck out a career high 10 strikeouts in that ball game. Right here, per pitcher's pitch right there. Outer half of the plate, down and away with something on it.
1 strike to Cabrera. Well, that's a ball. The first 2 pitches Baker threw were balls, and then he delivered 7 straight strikes.
Oh, you saw that fastball right there has a little tail on it. That's that 2-seam sinking fastball. Then he'll throw the straight 4-seam fastball. That's the breaking ball. He'll mix in a curveball and a slider, and then that circle changeup.
2-1. A swing and a miss. 2-2.
Cabrera's had a good season against the Twins, hitting .354 overall, 17 hits and 48 at bats, but only 2 for 14 lifetime against Scott Baker.
Just outside, and it's a full count. Missed inside. Cabrera takes first with a 1.
Well, Baker, one of the best as far as fewest walks per 9 innings in the American League. For Baker, only his 40th walk in 173 innings pitched.
Here's Peralta. Peralta with 11 home runs on the season. One of 5 Indian players in double digits in home runs. Sizemore leading the team, and he'll finish his season with 18. Over the Cleveland dugout and out of play, 1 strike. And Eric Wedge just kind of twisting in the wind right now. Not sure if the Indians are going to bring him back next year or not. Had a team meeting with the Indians before the series started here yesterday. And reminded everybody what their job is here in the final 3 weeks of the season. Which is to play hard every inning and play as if they're contending even though they're not.
Yeah, you don't want to lose your focus. They've lost 11 out of their last 14 ball games and 12 out of their last 16, but you still want to try to finish the season strong.
1-1 to Peralta, and a throw to first. Well, you were, maybe even it was with Cleveland, but you were on some teams that were kind of limping home at the end of the season, didn't have a postseason berth perched in front of them. And is it a challenge to keep your focus through the end of the season?
No, it wasn't for me, because every time out might be my last time ever to pitch at the major league level. You never know, and every at bat might be your last at bat.
Huge break, my goodness.
He did the old Torrey Hunter right there.
Cabrera just took off, and Baker never gave him a second look. So a stolen base.
Remember, Torrey Hunter always tried this, and he was very successful. And right there, Cabrera did it. He steals his 17th base of the year and gets into scoring position with 2 outs.
1-2 now to Peralta.
No, you play every game like it might be your last, and that's what I'm sure Eric Wedge talked about. Just stay focused.
And Baker strikes out the side, walks a guy, and leaves him at second. All in all, an 18-pitch scoreless top of the first. Hitting over 500 against the Indians this year. Jason Kubel, a big power season against the Indians, and Michael Kanire, Delman Young, Brian Busher, Matt Tolbert, and Nick Punto.
And the Twins will face Fausto Carmona for the 4th time this year. Every time out, you just don't know what you're going to get out of this tall right-hander right here with a good sinker. Every start is an adventure for him. He's coming off his shortest outing of his career. That is last start against the Texas Rangers. He lasted only 2/3 of an inning.
2/3 of an inning, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, a walk, couple of home runs. Carl Willis and Eric Wedge pulled him out of the game in the first inning.
He threw 41 pitches. Good sinking fastball when he's on. And he has a tough time throwing strikes. That's the thing. 63 walks with 63 strikeouts in 101 innings pitched.
1-0 to Span. And now a fastball over for a strike. Span hitless last night, and the average took a dip down to 307. Two and one. Carmona was very good. In fact, the Twins had their hands full with CC Sabathia a few years ago, but they had no chance, it seemed, against Fausto Carmona. He owned the Twins. Foul back 2-2. Torrey Hunter, of course, then with the Twins, likened hitting against Carmona as trying to hit with a hangover.
And Torrey didn't drink.
And Torrey didn't drink. That's right. And since then, he's had nothing but trouble. A dominant year. And Ron Gardenhire was likening Carmona's struggles to Francisco Liriano's, trying to recapture some not long lost glory, recent glory, and both young pitchers have had a tough time. Sharp single up the middle for Denard Span. Here's the Northland Ford defense for the Indians. Crow, Brantley, and Laporta in the outfield. Peralta, Cabrera, Carroll, Marte around the infield. And Lou Marson again doing the catching.
2 years ago, Carmona, 19-game winner for the Indians. A 3.06 ERA. But he has struggled ever since last year. Only 22 starts, 8-7 ERA at 5.44.
Cabrera takes up and in.
And Span, who does 5 pitches into the ball game, makes Carmona throw a strike, and he hits it right through the wickets. Ron Coomer, you probably face this guy. I don't know if you have or not, but boy, when he's on, he's got a nasty sinker.
A very good sinker, good breaking pitch, good changeup. But right there is the problem, Bert. He throws way too many pitches up in the zone now, and way too many balls in the middle of the plate. He's got as good an arm as there is in the American League with as good a movement. But I was watching him throwing his warm-ups in the bullpen. He either threw a ball and not even close to the strike zone, or right down the middle. So far, we've seen 2 balls, middle, and both of them elevated about belt high.
Yeah, I don't care how hard you throw. You leave that ball about belt high, and these major league hitters will do exactly what the Twins have been able to do. Span off with the pitch, so he scoots over to third. So Carmona so far kind of starting the way that it went for him in his last start against the Rangers in Cleveland.
Here's Mauer. 3 hits and a walk last night. First and third, nobody out. Twins with a hit and run single and a chance to break out on top. Carmona starts Mauer with a fastball at the knees and a strike.
Well, you saw the movement on that pitch right there from Joe Mauer, starting middle and then working down and away. When Carmona is on, that's what he wants to do, is throw that sinker down. But a lot of times it will stay straight.
Whenever a sinker baller elevates his sinker, it stays flat.
Mauer continues to rack up hits in bunches against the Indians. 1-0.
Well, he came into that bat hitting .520, 26 for 50 against the Indians with a couple home runs. And right there, that beautiful inside-out swing of Joe Mauer, who has an 18-point lead over Ichiro in that batting title, went down, hit that ball sharply, past Peralta at third, and for Mauer, his 85th RBI of the year.
Still nobody out, and another rough start for Carmona. 2 on, nobody out. Kubel at the plate. Jason Kubel on the season has 23 home runs. He has 7 of them, and number 7 coming last night against the Indians. And
hitting .417, 20 hits in 48 at bats. 17 RBI against the Indians this year.
Pull the string on him a little bit. 1-1.
And outstanding numbers against Fausto Carmona. 10 hits in 23 at bats with a couple doubles and a couple home runs.
High fly center field. Cabrera positioning himself for a possible tag, but he'll stay put. 1 away. Royals knocked out Jared Washburn in the first inning, and then later in the fourth, David DeJesus with a 3-run home run, and Kansas City has jumped on the Tigers 7-0. Jared Washburn pitched 1 inning and was taken out after giving up 4 runs. Now, Washburn, of course, has had some knee issues. It might have been the knee issues as much as an ineffective start that took him out of the ball game, but a great start for the Royals and the Twins.
Well, that Kansas City ball club, they had just swept the Tigers in Kansas City. Now they go to Detroit and they take an early 7-0 lead. That's good to see, because the Twins need to watch the scoreboard. This is the time of the year right here. You really look at that scoreboard and you see 7-0. And you say, okay, let's add on, guys. Let's add to this 1-0 lead and win this ball game.
Cuddyer takes outside a ball. I told manager Ron Gardenhire this, and I mentioned it to some other people in the media, and I have no intelligent basis for saying this. I'm going out on a limb. I honestly think, I sense that this final 3 weeks is going to be the best 3 weeks of the season for the Twins, even though Justin Morneau's lost for the season. I have no reason for it. I just think that there's a resolve and a personality on this team that is going to respond really well to losing their cleanup.
Well, I think what we've seen from this ball club, like any Twins team, through Ron Gardenhire, Tom Kelly, these guys don't quit. And Justin's going to be a cheerleader from here on out. He's going to hopefully cheer them right into the division title.
It was a 3-1 pitch last night that Cuddyer clubbed over the center field fence for his 100th career home run. Now Carmona behind him, 2-0. And a strike, 2-1.
And we all know Justin, over the last month and a half, had been struggling with that back problem. Now, you know, Justin didn't want anybody to know. He tried to play through it, but it finally got to the point where it became a stress fracture.
2-1. Twins with 1 on the board. 2 men out there on base. Cuddyer looking for another extra base hit. Little nubber, and Carmona fires to first. 2 down. Both runners move up, and that'll set up Delmon Young.
Well, one thing Carl Willis would like Carmona to do is what he did right there. Just pull the string a little bit. Cuddyer way out front. He's got a good sinking fastball. He has an overpowering fastball at times with the sink and then the 4-seamer, but he has to add and subtract, and that's what he looked like he did right there. Cuddyer way out front, right off the end of the bat.
If the Twins are going to respond to the absence of Justin Morneau, it'll be individuals like Delmon Young who are going to have to step up. Young should get more playing time, with Cuddyer moving from the outfield to the infield. And the first pitch down and away, a ball. And he's 24 years old now.
Yep. 3 for 8 lifetime against Carmona. This would be a big hit right here if Delmon's able to deliver.
2-0.
Carmona, opponents are hitting 287 off of him. Right-handed hitters hitting only 234. Left-handers hitting 326.
(2-0) to Delmon Young. Fastball up and in, and it's 2-1. Scott Baker's got a run to work with. He'd gladly take a couple more.
That's one thing Baker has enjoyed. His 4 starts, we told you the number's 4-0, but he has had 36 runs scored for him in those 4 starts against the Indians.
3-1. First base is open, and Brian Butcher on deck.
Baker has won against the Indians this year 11-3, 10-1, 11-0 when he pitched that 2-hit shutout, and then 4-1 in his last start back on September 5th in Cleveland.
Three and 1. And there's ball 4. They're loaded up now for Busher. And Busher's, in a small sampling of at-bats, has owned Fausto Carmona. 4 for 7 with a home run and 5 runs batted in. So 3 singles, a walk, and Busher, the designated hitter, hoping to provide a designated hit. strike in the inside corner. Prepared for anything. Young fan with a glove. Strike two.
Both fastballs middle in to Busher.
Carmona one good pitch away from some damage control here in the first. 1-2. Twins never had a lead last night until their 6-run 8th inning. Tonight an early lead. And the bases are loaded here with 2 away. Oh, foul over the head of Jerry White. Marson with some words out on the mound for Carmona. "25 pitches already for Carmona in his first inning." One and two to Brian Busher. And now 2-2. Carmona walked Young to fill the bases, and we showed you the numbers before. Carmona walking an average of 5 per 9 innings pitched. Check swing, but he went on a half swing. Busher is rung up. The Twins get one, but leave 3, and Carmona survives the first inning tonight.
One in the bottom of the first. We start the second inning back at the Metrodome. And Michael Cuddyer is tonight's first baseman. He'll probably be the Twins' first baseman from here on out. So I asked Cuddyer what changes for him, and he said nothing really physically. It's more just mentally, knowing that he'll have to get into that mindset every night of being the Twins' first baseman. But he said he has gotten very comfortable there. He said he's played infield maybe 8 or 9 years in his career, not necessarily first base, but he said that infield experience is just not something you lose, and the experience has been huge in this situation. And Dick and Bert, I asked Ron Gardenhire if there's anything he's not comfortable with Michael Cuddyer at first, and he said, yeah, the fact that he's not in right field shagging balls off the baggie, because he's gotten pretty good at that.
Thank you, Marnie. Michael, of course, has in his Twins career moved around so much. He told me, he said one of the things that's helped going back to when Justin missed 6 games with his dizziness, he got a chance to spend some extended time there. And it's so much easier than coming in once a month to spell Justin at first when you're actually going out there on a nightly basis.
Yeah, I mean, I heard the interview with Michael Kadire and Marnie earlier in the pregame, and Michael was saying it's not the physical part, it's, you know, the little things like the mental part. Where do I go as far as the cutoffs and, you know, throw from center field toward home plate? Where do I go? Just those little things. What do I do on a bunt play?
As a major leaguer, he's played all 3 outfield positions. He's played third base, second base, and first. He's done everything but play short. And he did that in the Hall of Fame game in Cooperstown years ago. Pitch and catch. So he's proven to be a pretty versatile player for the Twins. 1-2 to Hafner. That's hit to center. And Span glides over to make the catch. 1 away. So then the natural question for Michael was, all right, what's your favorite position? And he said it wasn't first base. And it wasn't right field. His favorite position was second base. He said he just loved being in the middle of the infield, being involved in double plays, and he played there sporadically for a couple of years. And I remember Al Newman, who was one of the Twins coaches at the time, saying he thought that second base was Kadire's best position. And turns out years later, Michael says it was his favorite position. 1 gone, Andy Marte, the hitter. And up high, 1-1. Marte getting some exposure at first base after a failed trial at third base. In the dirt, 2-1.
Yeah, Marte 3 for 10 lifetime against Baker with a couple home runs in those 3 hits. You know, solo home run off of Baker on September 5th in Cleveland. The only run Baker allowed in 6 innings.
Up and in now, 3-1. Baker ended up walking Cabrera with 2 outs in the first. The catch by Span in center on Hafner's ball, the first ball that's been put in play against Baker. And now a walk to Marte.
Well, Baker in his last 2 starts have walked 4 batters in each start. So unlike Baker, who usually averages less than 2 walks per 9 innings, walks his second batter here tonight.
Here's Matt Laporta. Laporta playing a variety of different positions for the Indians. He might spend some time at first base, might see him in left or see him in right, as is the case tonight. Baker struggling with his control here a little bit. 29 pitches, 16 strikes. Foul back. Florida September call-up. Indians auditioning people for possible roles with the 2010 team. And I suppose Carmona probably auditioning as well. Indians really aren't sure from one start to the next what they're going to get from him right now.
Well, they sign him to that 4-year contract. That's the tough part for Carmona, with 3-year options.
Teams do that, and the Indians probably have done it more than anybody else, trying to get ahead of the arbitration and free agent curve. You try to sign these guys and hope that they continue to develop, and then every once in a while the player takes a big step backward, as has been the case with Carmona. 1-2 to Laporta. Popped up, foul, and out of play. The Indians were the first team to really exploit that process when they moved into their new ballpark. They went ahead and signed Lofton and Albert Bell, Manny Ramirez, and
Carlos Baerga
to those contracts, and then kind of filled in the blanks around them. And it worked for them. They sold out 455 consecutive games and got to the World Series twice. 1-2 again to Matt Laporta. Chopper to third. Tolbert fires to second. Relay to first. Double play. A slow developing one, but once Tolbert got his hands on the ball, they went around the horn to end the inning. Claimed to be the walleye fishing capital of the world. You'd never know it by me. I've been up there and had modest luck. The area has over 45 full-service resorts open year-round. Matt Tolbert leading off the second for the Twins. Ball one, now ball two.
Tolbert, who played in last night's ballgame, was not scheduled to start last night, and he responded with a couple hits. So Hardy saying, "Hey, get back out there again." Tolbert 2 hits and 4 at-bats. Excuse me, 3 at-bats. He walked once.
The most impressive one was the hit-and-run single, where he had a couple of really tough pitches to handle and made contact with both of them, and on the second one dumped a single over third base. Now 3-0 with Punto on deck. And a strike. Strike.
Carmona back on June 4th pitched against the Twins here and didn't fare too well. Only 2 innings, gave up 7 runs. That against Scott Baker started that ball game. Ground ball to Carroll at second for the first out, and so frustrating that the Indians ended up sending him down to rookie ball.
1 down in the second, and you can ask a question of us or offer up a comment online at carsoup.com/baseball. Larry Roberts from St. Cloud wondering whether we think Indians manager Eric Wedge will be back next year.
Well, first of all, I think they forgot the O-N on that name right there, but I hope he's back.
That's a fair ball, and Punto will dig for second. The question I think every general manager has when addressing that question is, what will be gained if we don't bring this guy back? You know, if they've got a hot prospect manager in AAA or something that they want to bring up and maybe kind of change the climate in the clubhouse for some reason, that would be a reason to make a change. But I don't know that that's the case with the Indians, and who knows the Indian personnel better than the guy currently managing them.
Well, you know what? I'm an Eric Wedge fan. I mean, a couple of years ago, he was American League Manager of the Year. Why? Because his players performed for him. You know, they lost C.C. Sabathia. They lost Cliff Lee. They've lost a lot of good players out of that organization. And is it Eric Wedge's fault? No. In my opinion, no. It's not his coach's fault either, coaching staff.
You know, I had a chance today to speak to the Golden Valley Rotary Club this afternoon, and in question and answer period, they were asking about the Twins and how they seem to be a really stable organization. And it's easy to have a stable front office when things are going well, as they have around here for the last 7-8 years. But to me, what really made this Twins franchise was the stability they had when things weren't going well on the field. They didn't change general managers except when Andy McPhail left, of course. 2-0.
They have the same farm director, Jim Rance, forever.
Right.
You know? I mean, the scouts are in place. There's a lot of stability here in the Twins organization. You know, you go to other organizations, they all want to be like the Twins, but they change new faces every 5 or 6, 7 years.
2-0 to Span with Punto at second and a strike. So I'm not sure we're answering the question whether we think he will, but I think you and I both agree that he should. Eric Wedge should be given the opportunity to come back.
I just hope, you know, he does, only because I'm an Eric Wedge fan.
And I'm a Carl Willis fan.
Yeah, I'm a Carl Willis fan, too. And I'm a Joel Skinner fan.
2-1 to Span. Now a line drive, and no, it's not a double play. Caught on the ground, and Punto needs to stay put here at second base. Instead of being doubled off, he retreated and is safe with only 2 out in the inning.
Well, Jeff Nelson, the second base umpire, watching the flight of this ball. And we want to wish Jeff Nelson's mother best of health. And right here, it's a ball that just is kind of short hopped right there, Carroll. And then the flip over to Cabrera, and Cabrera alertly throws over to first to get Span. And that's what Jeff Nelson saw right there. It looked like the ball hit the turf first.
Well, instead of an inning-ending double play, Punto's still very much in play at second base, and here's Cabrera.
Well, I think because Carroll didn't argue that at all.
Right.
If Carroll catches that, I'm sure he's, you know, right on Jeff Nelson, asking him, you know, I caught that.
Cabrera delivered a hit-and-run single in the first to advance Span to third base. Chopped at the plate, 1-1. You know, the Indians clearly in a rebuilding phase right now, and it's one thing to rebuild the roster, but well, you'd like to think that the manager and the coaches would be retained to kind of see the rebuilding process through, especially when they have proven to be successful in rebuilding phases. Indians have gone through this before, and Eric Wedge and the coaching staff nearly got him to the World Series. 1-2 to Cabrera. Twins left 3 men on. Of course, 2 of them in scoring position in the first. They'd rather not leave Punto there in the second. And Cabrera waves at it. Carmona gets through the second, and we head to the third. It's still 1-0.
you can select seats at Target Field before the general public. Call today to reserve your place in the sun at Target Field.
1-0 Twins. We go to the third inning. Twins president Dave St. Peter is with us to talk more about Target Field, and the 2010 schedule was released today. And Dave, your initial impressions of the schedule and what looks to be an exciting first year in the new ballpark.
Well, it is exciting. You know, Major League Baseball has always released their schedule last few years on the same day, but I think there's more anticipation for this schedule than maybe any other year I can remember, just because of everything that comes with it. But obviously, opening on the road out against Torrey Hunter and the Anaheim Angels, April the 5th. Bert, a big day if I'm not mistaken.
No, the next day.
Oh, I'm
6th.
sorry. Okay, it was off a day. But nonetheless,
April 5th is the last.
You'll celebrate your birthday at home, so to speak.
So we're 202 days away because we're 203 days away from my birthday. But no.
Wow. But obviously, opening on the road, and all eyes on April the 12th against the Boston Red Sox, the first ever regular season game at Target Field, a 3:10 start. And I can tell you, if we only had seating capacity for 250,000, I think we could sell all 250,000 tickets for that game.
Well, here's a drive to right, deep to the right field corner, but foul. Looking at the schedule, 9 of the first 25 games are at home, so the bulk of the schedule is on the road. And I would imagine that kind of by design, and maybe that'll be something we'll see more and more of down the road.
Well, Bert knows this. You know, the Twins are always back in the 60s, 70s. We tried to open on the road. I mean, it was always just, you know, frankly, it's common sense. You hope you can do that. I don't know that that's going to be feasible every year, but I know Major League Baseball worked to accommodate us for that next year, and we feel good about it.
I looked at the schedule, and it kind of brought me back to the old Met, you know, with the opening day being the 12th, with an off day the next day because of the weather maybe, but also all of the day games early.
You know, you're right. You have that rain protection day on April 13th, and then we come back finish out that Red Sox series with 2 more 12-10 games. And we talked about that. We want to give ourselves the best possible chance to have good weather for those games for our fans and our team.
Span hustles back, makes the catch, one away here in the third inning. Coming up in the month of May, the Tigers, Orioles, White Sox, and the Brewers in interleague play coming to the Twin Cities, and starting in May, more of a balance in terms of home games as opposed to road games. Yeah, and that's by design, of course. You know, clearly, you know, with people making their travel plans for next year, we're going to see a lot of focus on that, as we do in the Metrodome, frankly, with people coming from greater Minnesota more in the months of May, June, July, and August. But interleague play is exciting with the Brewers coming back and that natural rivalry, as well as we're very happy to have the Atlanta Braves coming in and to Target Field along with the Colorado Rockies. So we think we've got a good interleague schedule for 2010 as well.
You know what I like about it, Dave, is that there are a lot of 3-team homestands. That's nice, where the team's home for 10 days.
Yeah, it is nice. You're right about that, and we didn't have as many of those this year. Those can make for difficult road trips from time to time, but those are, you know, it's actually preferred, I think, from a team perspective. You can get settled in. It's a little easier from a travel side of things.
Yes.
And then the Super Turf here has been a little bit easier for the players, but I know the players almost dreaded those week-and-a-half-long homestands playing on the artificial turf here because it took a physical toll. That obviously won't be the case in the new ballpark.
No question about that. Obviously, with a natural grass playing field, you know, we're hoping that that's going to help us, frankly, stay healthier long-term as a baseball team.
Ground ball to short. Cabrera has it. 2 down. Let's back up, if we can, to very early April. The first home game of the regular season is April 12th. But the St. Louis Cardinals are coming here for a couple of exhibition games before the regular season gets started.
Yeah, we really couldn't be more excited to have the opportunity to host the Cardinals in exhibition games at Target Field on Friday, April 2nd and Saturday, April 3rd. It'll be our dry run, so to speak, in terms of getting the kinks out of the building. But obviously a very class opponent, maybe the best player in the game outside of Joe Mauer, and Albert Pujols coming to Minnesota to play, and Tony La Russa coming back here. And really, again, very thrilled to have the Cardinals. They're excited to come here. They're honored to be asked, and they had such a good experience here back in 1987, but I think they wanted to come back.
Slash down the line. Foul.
They're going to bring Whitey Herzog back with them?
I don't think Whitey Herzog. He may be here on October 4th to say goodbye to this place. But we're excited about that, and we'll have a lot of information, obviously, on tickets and how people will be able to access Target Field for those exhibition games, as well as the regular season here in the weeks and months to come. But it's pretty special, I know, for Twins fans who have been waiting for these days, that opening day at Target Field, finally now to be able to pencil that in on the calendar, maybe in pen.
You know, Dave, we show the pictures of mostly, you know, the field and the outside part of the stadium. I had the opportunity to go in, and Dick, I know you have too. The concourses are absolutely beautiful in there, and I think that's where the fans are going to really enjoy coming to new Target Field.
Well, I agree with you, Bert. I think, you know, from a fan experience perspective, Target Field will certainly be well received by baseball fans. It'll be a great place to come watch a ball game, and certainly a huge improvement.
Dave, thanks for the time, and everybody's anxious, not so much for the end of this year, but for the start of next year.
Thanks, guys.
Minnesota, and the one Minnesota run driven in by Joe Mauer, who will lead off the third for the Twins. Mauer, Kubel, and Cuddyer facing Fausto Carmona in the third. There's a first pitch strike. Mauer with a 3-hit game last night, and he wasted a little time in picking up his first hit here tonight. The hits last night first came to left, then center, then right, and his first hit tonight went to left field. 1-1. And right now Mauer leading the American League batting race by 19 points. In the National League, Hanley Ramirez is leading by 31 points over Albert Pujols. And in a way, that batting race could be more interesting simply because Pujols looks like he's going to win the home run title, and he might win the RBI title. If Ramirez comes down a little bit and Pujols goes up a little bit, Pujols is going to have a chance to win the Triple Crown.
Yeah, he's got to get past Howard and Prince Fielder in the RBI, but it looks like he's going to win that home run title, like you mentioned. Pujols having another solid year.
3-1 to Mauer with Kubel on deck. And now Mauer draws a walk. Series wraps up with a noon start tomorrow. That means it's a Treasure Island Senior Day. Fans 55 and older can get $5 off any lower reserved or upper club ticket. Treasure Island Senior Day tickets must be purchased at the ballpark on the day of the game. So come on out tomorrow and join us at the ballpark. Last Wednesday afternoon game at the Metrodome. Here's Kubel, hit a fly ball to center his first time up. Kansas City's leading Detroit 8-1 in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Tigers finally scored a run against Robinson Tejeda, who was moved into the Kansas City rotation. And like Carl Pavano, he's absolutely dominated the Tigers. And I think not tomorrow, but Thursday, Tigers have to face Zach Greinke. So who knows what's going to happen at Comerica Park. Twins hope to take care of business here tonight and tomorrow afternoon, and that weekend series with the Tigers could really be interesting. 1-1 to Kubel. Fouled off his front leg. And again today for the Tigers, who've had a tough time on the back end of their rotation, Jared Washburn went just 1 inning.
Well, Kubel, who wears that pad right there, you can see the ball hit off that pad.
1-2. Breaking ball, and he lays off 2-2. Carmona had a long first inning, gave up just the 1 run, left the bases full. A little bit better time of it in the second, even though he gave up a 1-out double to Punto. Two and two to Kubel.
I mentioned before, Carmona sent down to rookie ball back in the early June. Did not resurface here to the Indians until July 31st when he was recalled from AAA. Sent down the rookie ball just to work on his delivery, try to refine it a little bit so he could get the ball over the plate. And a good off-speed pitch right there. He picks up his second strikeout.
So 1 down. And that'll bring up Michael Cuddyer.
Pulled a string right here. Good off-speed pitch, like a slider or something, but that is like an off-speed pitch for him because he relies on that good fastball and the sink on that fastball.
Cuddyer hit a little nubber in front of the plate. Carmona threw him out in the first inning. A breaking ball over for a strike. We don't seem to be seeing many fastballs here, with Carmona giving up some solid hits in the first inning with his fastball finding too much of the plate. Instead of the 92, 93 mile per hour fastball, it's seen a lot of pitches in the mid to upper 80s with some spin on it.
Carmona at 6'4", when he follows through, when he comes through the ball, his right foot lands almost on the turf. I remember when Texas was here, Tommy Hunter had a lot of problems with that dirt in front of the mound.
Another one nubbed by Cuddyer.
A lot of loose dirt in front of the mound because Carmona's follow through. See all that loose dirt right there? In that ball game here against the Rangers, the ground crew had to come out, and Scotty Alger tried to help out too for a while. Patting that dirt down.
1-2 to Cuddyer. He's trying to take advantage of the leadoff walk. That's looped foul down the right field line.
We do our instructionals down there, and I went out. I remember after that Texas series, I talked to the guy that works on the mound, and he said, you know, because the Vikings play here, you see the follow through right there, but a lot of times he'll come up even further. Because the Vikings come here, they kind of remove that mound, and that dirt that's really kind of padded, you know, I mean, packed in there the first 3 or 4 months until the Vikings come. They have to take that mound out, and that dirt is not compacted as much as it would be, say, you know, in May or June.
Now, I haven't seen them do it, but doesn't the mound come off in like 2 sections? With they lift it off with a forklift, right?
Right.
1-2, and now 2-2. And again,
take a look at this follow through right here. It's the right leg, and right there, the little jump.
2-2 to Kadire. Pulled to third. Peralta to Carroll in a double play. The Indians issue a leadoff walk. Carmona faces just 3 men, and it's 1-0 Minnesota. Grand Casino game reset. First 3 Twins batters got singles and the 1 run of the game so far.
Well, Scott Baker's magic against the Indians continues as Joe Mauer driving in the only run. Currently leading the American League, hitting at .372. Span led off the ball game with a single, scored the only run so far for the Twins.
Jamie Carroll is Drupal Cabrera. Johnny Peralta will hit for the Indians. I want to pass along the very best wishes from my family and from the Twins family to Sophia Schmidt. Tomorrow's a big day for you, young lady. You get your rest tonight, and we wish you the best of luck and know that our thoughts and prayers are with you. Jamie Carroll with a strikeout his first time up. And now 1-1. We've talked about this before. A pitcher that seems to have a team's number, and it can change from year to year, but when you're locked in like Baker has been against the Indians, you're out there with 1 run of support, and it almost seems, I suppose, like 4 or 5.
Well, Baker came into this year 3 wins, 5 losses in his career against the Indians with an ERA at 4. But for some reason this year he's had their number again. 4-0 with an ERA of 0.93.
That's hit to center. That's the first Cleveland hit. Carroll with a line drive single to center. And the leadoff man is on here in the 4th. After today, just 7 Aflac trivia questions left at home. Actually, less than that. We're not going to be on the air tomorrow.
Aflac.
Which 3 Twins pitchers hold the club record with 4 wins in a season against Cleveland?
Well, I know it's not Rick Reed.
Not when Jim Thome was with the Indians. No. Here's Asdrubal Cabrera.
Well, I'd have to say Baker's one of them since he's 4-0 this year.
That's true.
Oh, that doesn't count, they said. Shoot.
Well, what about like Jim Cott? He had the record with 25 wins in a season, right? Pretty good chance 4 of those were against Cleveland. Indians weren't any good back then.
Yeah, but I don't know if they played each other that many times back then. You know, now these guys like Brad Radke or Johan Santana, you know, they play each other, what, 18, 19 times a year.
One 1-0 to Cabrera. And another throw to first. Carroll can run well. Ron Coomer, Scott Baker from up here looks like he's on top of his game.
He's on top of his game, and he's on top of the baseball. We always talk about the downhill plane and how tough that is for a hitter. The thing that I've seen, and Bert, you can attest to this, his fastball is very crisp and going downhill, but also his changeup, the ball is just jumping out of his hand. As you saw last inning, he got some strikeouts and got some outs with a great changeup. His fastball and changeup are jumping out of his hand, but great downward plane on both pitches.
Well, you know, I think the biggest thing about Baker, and we saw it really in his first, 6, 7, 8 starts, everything was up, 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 and now he's changing speeds. He's 11-2, since June 1st over his last 19 starts.
Carroll goes. Mauer's throw off target, and Cabrera does a nice job keeping it in the infield. A stolen base, and the tying runs in scoring position.
Well, Cabrera, not really a base stealer. He got a pretty good jump right there. Steals only his 3rd base of the year in 5 attempts. Watch him take off right here. Maybe a hit and run. And Cabrera has to go to the second base side from the throw from Joe Mauer.
So Carroll at second, nobody out, 1-2 to Asdrubal Cabrera, who walked and stole second in the first. Swing and a miss. Cabrera is the first out of the inning.
And strikeout number 4, the first strikeout for Baker since he struck out the side in the first.
And now Peralta.
Oh, there's that fastball that Coomer was talking about that has a little extra giddy up on it.
We're beyond the dog days of August. We're into September. And sometimes players talk about how the grind gets to them physically. There's Peralta with one away. And for a pitcher, at least in your case, did you ever see or sense that your fastball lost some velocity or your breaking ball lost some sharpness because of the grind and the wear and tear over the season?
For some reason, I always thought I was a better finisher than, say, June and July when the weather was so warm. I got worn down then, but August and September is when I felt that those were my better months. I got stronger. I found that second or third wind, and I wanted to finish the season strong, so that's when it kind of kicked in.
But that's unusual, isn't it? I mean, pitchers talk about. I was talking with one of the Twins pitchers today, and he was saying, he doesn't feel as sharp now as he did back in May or June.
No, that's the way I was. June and July were tough months for me from time to time, but no, I think August and September were probably my best months overall throughout my career.
Would stand to reason, if Baker can throw 93, that maybe in September. Maybe he would top out at 91, but that wasn't the case with you, I guess. 2-1.
No, I never topped out at 91. That's why.
2-1 to Peralta. Strikeout victim his first time up. Foul back.
Well, one thing about Baker last year, he worked 172 1/3 innings. Coming into this outing, he had worked 172 2/3 innings. So he had pitched 1/3 of inning more than he has in his career, so far at the major league level. So he's got a chance to work over 200 innings this year, and that would be a nice feat going into next year.
2-2.
Nick Blackburn almost made it last year, 193 innings pitched.
Peralta tried to turn around a 91-mile-per-hour fastball.
And that's where the game has changed, Dick. It used to be, starters used to average 250, 260, 270, back in the 70s and 80s, where now if you can get 2 or 3 guys in your staff to pitch 200 innings, and it looks like the Twins will, maybe with Blackburn, maybe with Baker, maybe with Pavano between Indians and the Twins, 3 pretty good starters right there.
Another 2-2. Just missed. And it's a full count. A little bit low. Well, now you've pitched 200 innings in a season. You're considered an innings eater. 20 years ago, if you pitched 200 innings, they would have questioned your manhood.
Well, the game has changed. They're still men.
3-2, first base open. And Peralta bounds on up the middle. It's a base hit, and Carroll will fly around third and score the tying run. So the first two Cleveland hits of the night result in the first run, and it's one apiece.
Yeah, he just let the fastball away, and he really didn't have much on this fastball. And Peralta was 78 RBI now on the year. Just took that fastball right back up the middle. He let that ball over the plate just a little bit. And Peralta took advantage of it, driving in the tying run. So the stolen base comes into play in this inning of Jamie Carroll.
Here's Hafner, who hit a fly ball to center his first time up. Outside, a ball. The Oakland A's here, and they had a pretty heavy upper Midwest presence with Ryan Sweeney, Mark Ellis,
Michael Wirtz,
and Hafner, of course, from North Dakota. The umpiring crew, a pretty heavy upper Midwest presence with Jeff Nelson from the Twin Cities, Gary Cederstrom from North Dakota. 2-0 now to Hafner. And I'll confess, I don't know where Adrian Johnson's from. I can look it up. Foul back, 2-1. Indians moved 6 frontline players in just over a month, 35 days. And Hafner remains with the Indians because of his contract and the Indians' inability to unload it.
He's been bothered by both shoulders starting last year into this year. The power numbers are down.
2-1 to Hafner. And 2-2. Baker's been stretched out now to 66 pitches, about 2 strikes for every ball thrown. Didn't give up a hit until this inning. But he's been out there for a while already here in the fourth.
This will be his 20th pitch of the inning.
And Hafner taps it foul. Anderson hoping that Baker can get 2 outs on 1 pitch. 1 out on the first 20 pitches. Good pitch here. He might get a double play and get the Twins off the field. Driven to right. And over the head of Kubel. Peralta rounding second on his way to third. He'll be held there, and Hafner golfs one over the head of Kubel for a double.
Oh, we talked about Hafner in Cleveland, how he chokes up on the bat. He got the ball down right here, down and in, and that's where left-handers like it, so they can do this, just drop the barrel of a bat. And that's a line drive over the head of Kubel. Kubel gets it back in as soon as that ball comes back down. But it's the 16th double for Travis Hafner. He puts runners at second and third and 1 out.
So 3 of the 4 batters here in the inning have hit successfully. Here's Andy Marte. Cuddyer, even with the bag at first, rested the infield playing back, and Marte takes a ball. Baker with 4 strikeouts, 3 of them in the first inning, the other one coming here in the fourth, and he's in position here where he could use a strikeout or a pop-up. Gets to the right field corner, and Kubel has a long run, a foul ball catch. Spinning and firing. It'll be a sacrifice fly, and the Indians take a 2-1 lead.
Well, nice catch right there by Kubel. And it's early in the ball game, and you still want to make that catch right there. It went into foul territory. Marte picking up his 19th RBI. Kubel went a long way for this ball, caught it, spun, and threw that ball back in the infield. Good concentration right there by Kubel, getting it into the glove for the second out, but on the play, Peralta scores.
And here's Laporta. So nice to have a primary designated hitter who can do what Kubel can do, play the corner outfield spots and handle things successfully out there. Swing and a foul. Bauer taking that foul tip. And no one benefits from that more than Joe Mauer. Able to take over the DH spot when the grind of catching starts taking its toll, and the Twins can put Kubel in the outfield and keep his bat in the line.
Gary Cederstrom, the home plate umpire, taking a little extra time right there, letting Joe Mauer regroup on that foul ball.
1 strike to Laporta. Jose Morales with the cervical collar just in case, and a liner to left center field, going to score another run, and the Indians have a 3-1 lead. So held hitless through 3. The Indians have collected 4 hits and 3 runs so far here in the 4th.
Yeah, not a lot of movement on the fastballs this inning from Baker. Baker giving up another RBI single. Pitching coach Rick Anderson on his way out. Laporta picking up his 13th RBI on that base hit. That scores Hafner from second.
Baker, who's had the Indians eating out of his hand this year, has had a rough 4th inning here. A quick trip to the mound from the Twins pitching coach. Started with Carroll's sharp single to center to lead off the inning, and then the stolen base, and Indians have taken a 2-run lead. Here's Lou Marson. And a strike. Marson catching in back-to-back games. We might see Shoppett catch tomorrow.
Marson just 23 years old, coming over from the Phillies in the Cliff Lee trade back in late July.
Shaves the outside corner, so Baker throwing more strikes and better strikes here in this at bat. Kicks away from Mauer, and that will allow Laporta to go to second base. A wild pitch, a 2-strike pitch in the dirt, and there's another runner in scoring position.
Well, it looked like a slider right here, and it lands just on the other side of home plate, if not off the plate. Right there, you saw it scoot past Joe. Well, Baker's pitch count starting to mount. That wild pitch, the 4th of the year for Baker.
And how many pitches this inning for Baker?
Has 28 pitches.
1-2 to Marson. Another foul. 8-1 Kansas City leading Detroit. They're in the top of the 7th at Comerica Park. First of 3. Now the Twins will activate the bullpen. Bobby Kempel is going to start to get loose. Twins have seen this happen from Baker to Blackburn. At times, the inability to apply a tourniquet to an inning.
Well, some days you go out there like Baker did in the first inning. Looked like he had great stuff. He went through the second and third inning, everything okay. And this inning just kind of laboring out there. 30 pitches so far in this inning. And those guys are showing right there. They want to get off the field. They want to come hit. Get this final out.
1-2 to Marson. Looked like that crossed up Mauer.
Yeah, Mauer's going to go out and talk to Baker.
Now 2-2. What happened here?
Well, it's a breaking ball right here. Watch Joe's reaction. He thinks it's a fastball. And we're kind of looking out at Baker saying, come on, let's work on the same page here.
Three singles, a double, a sacrifice fly. Baker trying to strand Laporta at second base. That's to center. Span ends the inning. A long one, and the Indians scored 3 times to take their first lead tonight. Our internet customers get free Quest Wi-Fi powered by AT&T Wi-Fi. And by Grand Casino Mille Lacs and Grand Casino Hinckley. Expect grand. Johnny Peralta, Andy Marte, Matt Laporta all driving in runs in the top of this inning. And now Delman Young taking strike one with the Twins down a pair. Young, Busher, and Tolbert. The Twins had a chance to really cuff around Carmona in the first inning. They got 1 run, left the bases full. Well, they haven't done much against him since. 2 strikes.
Yeah, only 1 fly ball out so far off the bats of the Twins off of Carmona. 5 ground ball outs to go along with his 3 strikeouts.
And that is a fair ball, and Young, who hit it about 8 feet, is retired 1 away. The Royals keep pouring it on the Tigers. They swept them in Kansas City a week ago. And now Miguel Olivo
driven to the air
with a 3-run home run, and it's 11-1 Kansas City. Jeremy Bonderman with some mop-up work for the Tigers. And again, Jared Washburn lasted just 1 inning for Detroit. 1 gone. Here's Brian Busher, and he takes ball 1. Tigers have 3 games against Kansas City. And that Kansas City series beginning ominously with the bullpen having to pitch 8 innings at least. Then game 2 and game 3, and then they'll have to come to the Metrodome where the Twins are expected to face Porcello, Justin Verlander, and Jared Washburn. 2-0 to Brian Busher. 3-0. Tolbert on deck. And a 4-pitch walk gets Busher aboard. We'll have Friday's telecast for you right here. Saturday afternoon, the game will be on Fox. Curtis Granderson and the Tigers taking on Joe Mauer. And the Twins, Carl Pavano, who has dominated the Tigers this year, scheduled to start on Saturday. Brian Dunsing will go Friday, and then Scott Baker will come back on Sunday. Pavano's first game as a Twin came against the Tigers in Detroit, and he beat them. Here's Tolbert, and he takes a strike. Tolbert hit a bouncer to second his first time up. And up high, 1-1. Carmona's pitched so poorly, there haven't been many times when he's had a lead to work with. A lot of really short starts, including his last start when he lasted just 2/3 of an inning. Up high, 2-1.
Well, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts for Carmona. And these are counts that'll hurt you when you're a fastball pitcher. You're having trouble getting that breaking ball over. That's why Carl Willis wants him to try to pull the string. Have confidence in maybe a changeup in this situation.
And Tolbert drops one down the line, foul by about 30 feet. He'll need to go get a new stick. That not unlike his bloop single and a hit and run yesterday. Two and 2 to Tolbert. Looks like the door is going to be wide open for the Twins to pick up a game in first place Detroit here. And Tolbert takes down and in, 3-2. Busher doesn't run particularly well. He's the runner at first. We'll see if the Twins think about sending him here.
Well, Jerry White, the first base coach, helping him out right here. We'll see what Gardy and the Twins decide to do.
Tolbert goes, or Busher goes. Marte thinks about second base. Tolbert instead retired at first. So by sending the runner, the Twins advance Busher into scoring position, 2 away. Aflac trivia question. I'm going to go with Jim Cott as my guess. We've already got Baker on the board, so we've got the answer.
Johan Santana.
The answer is got Baker, Jim Cott.
And Rick Reed.
Rick Reed did it.
Wow.
He won 4 times by the score of 9-7. Jim Cott did it, but not in the year that he won 25 games. Jim won them in what, 66, wasn't it, when he won 25 games?
Yep.
Jim did it back in 1963. Strike 1 to Punto. He doubled into the right field corner his first time up.
Well, I did mention Rick Reed, so we got all 3 of them.
And that gives us a carryover into the next couple of trivia questions. Up the middle and through. Punto delivers. Busher's going to score, and the Twins trail by just a run. So a nice hit by Punto, but the decision to start Busher from first base led to the run.
Yeah, those are the little things in the game of baseball sometimes can be good things for the baseball. Right there, Nick Punto picking up his second hit, his 31st RBI. That fastball right back up the middle as Busher scores to make it a 3-2 ball game.
Punto has a couple of hits here tonight. Span with Punto aboard. And we'll see how anxious the Twins are to maybe ask Punto to steal his way into scoring position here with Span at the plate. Punto on the season 11 for 13, a very good stolen base percentage. Span with 157 hits and 30 of them for extra bases. So you'd have to say he's a singles hitter. And he takes low, ball one. Span with a single to center in the first, and then he hit a line drive caught off the turf by Carroll. 2-0. Ron Gardenhire again today was talking about Carmona and comparing him in some degree to Francisco Liriano. The big difference, of course, Liriano had the major surgery, the Tommy John surgery. Carmona hasn't had that. Liriano's had to fight through rehab, but Carmona has not. Bouncer to first. And a weird hop off the edge of the rug to Marte. He gets it. Goes to the bag. The inning ends. The Twins get one back on the bottom of the fourth.
Lottery winner's circle. We have brother and sister Travis and Amanda who are from Woodbury. And if you take a look at the picture here, Travis and Amanda. This is Amanda. This is Travis. This is 1994. There's a funny looking guy in the back from a family vacation to Fort Myers, Florida. Who's the guy in the back there, Travis?
I believe that's Bert.
I think it's Bert. It's odd that he'd be giving you bunny ears because that is not typical. Tell me what you remember about that trip to Fort Myers.
Well, I remember going to their facility and then getting Ken Herbert back.
Ken Herbert gave you a bat?
Well, one of the guys giving me the tour gave me Ken Herbert bat.
Nice. A bat from Ken Herbeck, bunny ears from Bert Blyleven. Priceless.
Can't believe it.
How about it's worth $100 worth of scratch-off tickets from the Minnesota State Lottery?
Sounds good to me.
All right, congratulations. Would you like to say hi to Bert 15 years later?
Hey, Bert. Good to
How
see
you doing? Thank you, and you are hereby circled.
You know, what I want to know is, as the grounds crew is tending to the front of the mound here, were you already in Fort Myers, or were you vacationing with that family?
1994? No, I wasn't with that family. I think I already was there.
I thought you were, just freeloading along on somebody else's family vacation just to get a free trip out of it.
Yeah, that's me.
94. Now, would that have been when you were in spring training with the Twins for the third?
No, that was 93.
That was 93. So what were you doing in Fort Myers in 94?
I might have been dating Gail at that time. I don't know.
Well, we had time while the grounds crew was working on the mound to unearth your monthly record as a major leaguer. Look at August.
Yeah, August and September, I always seem to want to finish strong for some reason, and June and July weren't particular. They're all right.
But look at October. 4-2.
5-1 in postseason. That was the fun part.
Here's a Trevor Crow to hit for the Indians in the 5th with Cleveland up a run. And Baker just hoping for a simpler time of it in the 5th. The Indians left him out there for a long time, and Carmona, who's chewed up the front of the mound. And we don't think Baker is going to even come in contact with that part of the mound. 1-0 to Crow.
You kind of want it, the way they fixed it right there in case of ground balls back up the middle too. You know that ball could hit the dirt before you put your glove down and pop up over the glove. Carmona's started the ball game giving up 3 singles. He's done a good job since.
1-1 to the number 9 hitter. Jam shot and a bouncer to second. Punto to Cuddyer, 1-away. Gopher football with Tim Brewster, your home for Gopher football. And this week, get an all-access pass to opening night at TCF Bank Stadium. Go behind the scenes with the team to see what opening night was like through the eyes of a Gopher player. Plus, get to know Gopher star receiver Eric Decker. Gopher football with Tim Brewster tomorrow at 6:30, only on Fox Sports North. 1 down in the 5th. Here's Michael Brantley. And Baker teases the outside corner but misses. Ball 1.
Yeah, Brantley showing possible bunt right there. That brings Tolbert in from third base.
There's a strike. You first came here to the Metrodome as a member of the Cleveland Indians, I would imagine.
1983, yes. I missed all of 1982 because of elbow surgery.
I've asked this of people, so I'll ask you on television. What was your first impression of this place when you walked in here?
You know what? Back then, I remember watching some ball games and then having an opportunity to pitch here. And that ball would, if it landed in front of an outfielder, there's a good chance it was going to bounce over his head. What I liked about the Dome over the years was that once the game was going to start at 7:10. As a starting pitcher, you set your routine throughout the day to get yourself mentally prepared for that 7 o'clock call, basically.
2-2.
Someone that pitched at the old Met, I know the weather elements sometimes came into play. Where here, you're guaranteed that once that game started, there was no interruptions.
3-2 the count. There never were any elements here. There were quirks, a white roof, plastic grass. Foul back.
And a lot of good memories. A lot of good memories in this place.
You going to be sad on the last day here?
No. I'm going to be happy because of the good memories. And I'm going to be happy because I've walked through Target Field. I know what the fans are going to experience with outdoor baseball. First time since 1981.
And a 3-2 coming to Michael Brantley. And he pokes it to right, hanging in the air. A nice basket catch by Kubel in right field. 2 down.
Well, we've seen Kubel have to run down that foul line to get that fly ball out off the bat of Marte. Right here he comes in and make sure that ball stays in front of him as he makes a nice running catch.
Every once in a while Ricky Henderson would do that. Willie Mays made it famous. The basket catch. Here's Jamie Carroll. And a strike.
Carroll started that last inning, that 3-run inning for the Indians with that leadoff single. Then stole second. Scored on Peralta's RBI single.
1-1.
Too many pitches in a short amount of time for Baker. 91 pitches right now.
One and two. Baker gets a strikeout and comes back after a rough fourth with a 1-2-3 pitch. Elner, Ron Coomer, Bert Blyleven, and Dick Bramer. Last night the Indians scored 3 runs, lost 6-3. Tonight they have a 3-2 lead so far, but the Twins will send Cabrera, Mauer, and Kubel to the plate in the 5th. Kansas City's thumping Detroit. They're up by 10 runs in the 8th inning. If the Twins can come back and win this game, pretty good chance they're going to be 4.5 out of first place. White Sox, incidentally, will get started a little bit later on. They're at Safeco Field playing the Mariners. One 1-0 to Cabrera. And a strike. Cabrera singled in the first, struck out in the second. Inside with that off-speed pitch and just missed the corner.
Yeah, Cabrera kind of ran away from that ball, and that ball almost clipped the inner half of the plate on that breaking ball.
2-1. Twins need an extra base hit here in the 5th. 2-2.
A good sinking fastball there. Twins have had a tough time getting the ball airborne against Carmona. 8 ground ball outs, 1 fly ball out, and 3 strikeouts.
Down low, 3-2. Carmona issued a 1-out walk in the 4th and paid the price. Punto with a 2-out hit to drive in Busher from second base. The other walks he survived. Deep to left. And we've got a tie game. There's your extra base hit. It's 3-3.
Home run number 7 on the year for Orlando Cabrera. And there was no doubt about it. It was almost like the home run he hit off of Roy Halladay. Halladay left the ball up when he fell behind 1-0, and Cabrera turned on it. And right there, that ball kind of ran right back into that swing of Cabrera. And he ties the game at 3 apiece. His 3rd home run as a Twin.
And now Mauer with a single and a walk against Carmona. Ball 1. Mauer's average has picked up about 12-15 points over the last week or so. Swing and a miss, 1-1. And no one here is suggesting that he's going to hit 400 or will ever hit 400, but I would think the best way to do that would be to sneak up on it at the end. Carroll recovers and throws Mauer out for the 1st out.
A good play right there by Jamie Carroll, diving for the ball, and a lot of times you'll see that ball maybe scoot away, but the ball stayed right there near his hand. He's able to get it and get the out of Mauer.
Kugel coming to the plate, but first this. You can visit the official online shop at twinsbaseball.com. Browse the largest online selection of authentic Twins gear like caps, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. And get your Twins gear straight from the source at twinsbaseball.com. Here's Kugel taking a ball. Don't you think whether it's Ichiro or Albert Pujols or Joe Mauer, the only way anybody would ever hit 400 would be to put on a big rush in the last 2 weeks where you wouldn't be dealing with the media through August and through September like George Brett had to. Or even Rod Carew.
Yeah.
So maybe Mauer has that in him. He's such an extraordinary hitter that he can put on a big rush toward the end and actually do something most people think will never be done again. With a torrid final 3 weeks. Kugel drives it hard to right, but right at the right field of Laporta, 2 away. And that'll bring up Kadire. Kadire 0 for 2. Put a little number in front of the plate and then bounced into a 5-4-3 double play in the 3rd. That hits the corner, strike 1. Kadire a few weeks ago hosted a celebrity waiter dinner in downtown Minneapolis, and they had a board meeting today for the boys and girls clubs, and Michael and Claudia and everybody that worked so hard on that event raised more than $55,000 for his celebrity waiter event.
Oh, great news.
Hopped up behind second base. He had 17 teammates help him out on the night after the game. Great turnout. Orlando Cabrera was there to help out as a celebrity waiter, and he helped out in the 5th with a leadoff home run. particularly of Joe, at least in baseball terms. Taking down number 8, revealing Joe's number 7, with 7 outdoor games left after tonight's game. And Asdrubal Cabrera leads off the Cleveland 6 with a foul pop out of play. I was just looking at the Twins in their media guide. They have a listing of all the players that have worn the different numbered uniforms. You know who Joe took the number 7 from? Foul back, 2 strikes. Who wore it before Joe?
No.
Denny Hocking. Greg Gagne wore it before that. Dave Meyer. Scotty Alger in his lone year in the big leagues, 1983, wore number 7. Boomer Wells, Larry Milbourne, Rob Wilfong, Dave McKay, Danny Walton, Jerry Terrell, Jim Nettles, Paul Ray Powell, Frank Quillisi, Jimmy Hall, and Lenny Green. There you have it. All the Twins players who ever wore number 7.
I understand Denny Hocking is going to come in on that final day here against the Kansas City Royals. It'll be good to see him. We see him out in California from time to time.
1-2 to Cabrera. It's a liner to left and a base hit. I brought all that up because we don't want to jump the gun, but there's a decent chance nobody will ever wear number 7 again for the Twins. Leadoff single here in the 6th for Asdrubal Cabrera. That'll bring up Johnny Peralta.
Yeah, let's hope it is Joe Mauer for a long, long time.
Baker struggled in the 4th. Had a pretty quick time of it in the 5th, but now we'll go to the stretch right away here in the 6th inning.
Oh, you want to come put a 0 on the board right here. Hopefully the team can get you some runs. Baker at 97 pitches, so this might be his last inning. Need a double play ball.
Peralta singled in a run in the 4th. And first pitch strike. Now the Indians have stolen 2 bases in tonight's game. Carroll's steal after his leadoff single in the 4th was a legitimate stolen base. The other one, Cabrera stole second after his 2-out walk in the 1st. He just took off and Baker never looked back. Fouled away. 2 strikes.
Well, Peralta's hit into 18 double plays this year. That's what the Twins need.
You know, and I think I brought that up 5 or 6 times when we were in Cleveland. He never did hit into a double play.
He's due then.
Bauer and Punto to the mound to talk to Baker.
That's what they're talking about right now. What pitch do we throw to get that double play? Can it be that slider for the 6-4-3 double play?
Cabrera says hit it at me. I'll give it to Nick Punto. And then he'll fire it over to Kadire. Down and away, 1-2. Hundred pitches now for Baker. A left-handed hitter and potentially dangerous one. Travis Hafner is on deck. Hafner doubled against Baker the last time he faced him in the 4th. It might be that this will be Baker's last hitter, and it also might be that Baker knows that. One and two. There's a chopper left side. Tolbert got the out at second, and they were fortunate to get that. Looked like Tolbert juggled the catch a little bit before flipping to second, one away.
Well, he stayed with her right there. Got the lead runner.
Thursday, high school football returns to Fox Sports North. Tune in for a classic late conference matchup between Hopkins and Minnetonka. High school football night presented by Quest. Thursday at 7, only on Fox Sports North. Scott Baker just over the 100 pitch limit. Goes 5 1/3 innings, and now he'll yield to Ron Mayhew.
Picking up the win when he pitched the 8th inning, top of the 8th, making his 7th relief appearance as a Twin, his 48th overall, 41 of them coming with the Kansas City Royals.
Hafner at the plate, a runner Peralta at first and 1 away, and Hafner takes a strike on the inside corner. Mayhew pitched an effective inning last night, and if he can back that up with another one here today, it'll go a long way toward resolving his future, I would think, with the Twins or with someone else. This would be a pretty valuable spot to have a veteran left-handed reliever in, a guy who can come in and get big outs in back-to-back games. Check swing and a foul, 2 strikes.
Well, Hafner hitting .231 against left-handers this year. And .288 coming into the ball game against right-handers.
See the infield pulled around toward the right for Hafner. Outfield, if anything, shaded the other way. Two strikes to Hafner. And it hit him. Hafner never moved, and the ball hit him on the leg. Now there are runners at first and second with 1 away.
And Ron Gardenhire is going to come out. And John Roush warming up. Looks like he'll be called in. And I guess when your name is Pronk, you don't move.
You don't move, the ball does when it hits you. So Mayhew doesn't get the job done. He doesn't get Hafner, and Roush will come in to try to keep the game tied.
as a Twin. He's only really had one bad inning, and that was in Toronto when he gave up the 3 runs and ended up losing that ball game 6-3 to the Jays. Gave up that 3-run home run to John McDonald.
Swing and a miss. And a Roush slider.
That's one thing we've seen from Roush. At 6'11", he's able to get that curveball and slider over. Roush coming over from the Arizona Diamondbacks in late August.
Punto covered second base.
There's our double play.
Cabrera to Punto.
There we go.
And a nice play by Cuddyer, having to make a backhanded dig, and Roush gets the job done. It's a scoreless top of the 6th. Taking a sinker to left field.
Oh, the man can flat out hit. He's one of those guys like, I've mentioned Vladimir Guerrero, always able to get the good part of the wood on that ball. The out RBI single coming in the first inning.
Cross-brewed Coors Light freeze can. And Roush, just a couple of pitches, got 2 outs and getting the job done and cleaning up a little bit of a mess in the top of the 6th. Here's Delmon Young starting the bottom of the inning. And he takes ball 1. Young walked in the first and then just hit a little roller in front of the plate, and Marson threw him out, leading off the 4th. A high hopper off the glove of Peralta. Young rounds first. He's going to dig for second, and he's going to reach with a double. We haven't seen many of those here at the Dome over the last couple of years. Those high hoppers, it seemed like every other hit Kirby Puckett got was one of those, but this one hit some hard dirt and almost went into the outfield on the fly.
Well, you know what? He is helped right here by first base coach Jerry White, because Jerry White, as he saw Peralta go up and slow that ball down, you could see Peralta going up, and then Jerry White saying, go to second, go to second. And Delmon Young gets his first hit on his 12th double.
Might have actually hit the corner of the plate. Here's Busher, who'll try to pull the ball here and get Young at least to third. Swing and a miss. Busher, as we pointed out early on tonight, has had pretty good success against Carmona. He struck out in the first and walked in the 4th. And Busher pulls it foul into the Cleveland dugout. 2 quick strikes.
Well, Busher knows what his job is right here, even with 2 strikes. Try to get Delmon Young over to third. In that first inning with bases loaded, he went after a high fastball, ended up striking out.
Popped up, it'll reach the seats. All right, so you're out there on the mound. Everybody knows what Buscher's trying to do. Carmona is just pounding the ball on the outer half of the plate, or how does he try to counter what Buscher's trying to do?
Well, I don't think Carmona has that type of control to try to pound the outer half of the plate. He's all over the place. Marson, the catcher, he doesn't move from, he's pretty much right down the middle of the plate. Young going back to second. That's one thing that Carl Willis wants his catchers to do with Carmona out there, because he has such good movement on that fastball, is don't move too much.
That'll work. Base hit to center. Young being waved around. And the Twins take the lead with Brian Buscher driving in Delmon Young.
Well, a mistake right there by Carmona. He was ahead in the count, 0-2. And he left that four-seam fastball up. And the Twins take a 4-3 lead. See the pitch right there. Good piece of hitting by Buscher. Good level swing. See the strength of Buscher. How quick he is. That ball scooted through the infield quick. Brantley gets up. But Young scoring.
Wouldn't you call that a short, compact swing? He didn't have a follow-through on that swing. Here's Tolbert. A couple of ground balls to the right side. He might be asked to bunt here with Buscher at first and nobody out.
And for Brian Buscher, his 12th RBI of the year.
Buscher goes, and Tolbert on a hit and run advances the runner again. Kind of the same thing the Twins tried with one out in the fourth, and
yeah, that was on a 3-2 pitch right there, and
right.
Buscher taking off. So little hit and run put on when maybe a fastball situation with both corner infields charging.
Robinson Tejeda does it again for the Royals against the Tigers, and again the sub-story on all that is Jared Washburn pitched just one inning. He's had some knee issues, and the Tigers might have some ongoing issues with another spot in their rotation. Here's Nick Punto with Buscher at second, one away. Third hit of the night for Punto. Buscher being held. He's coming through, and he will score. And now Punto to second base.
Boy, he ran right through the stop sign of Scotty Alger. And a good throw. Buscher would have been out at home, but it took a tricky hop in front of Marson. And the ball got away. Twins got a break right there. Punto will be credited with an RBI single, his third hit of the ball game, picking up his second RBI. A sinker, push, and that ball right there short hops Marson. And the Twins take a 5-3 lead.
And Carmona's going to be taken out. The grounds crew will work again on the mound with, I believe it's Robert Perez coming into the ball game for the Indians. Span, the scheduled hitter.
Look, they're Windexing.
It's Tony Sipp who's going to come in again for the Indians. And Carmona with another uneven performance. He really battled his way again with his control. 3 hits in the 6th, and so far a couple of runs. And the Twins will play with the lead. It's a 5-3 lead right now. And Harry Cederstrom has some words for Eric Wedge. It was Cederstrom out from behind the plate who kind of supervised the mound repair. While they work on the mound for the second time again in this game, we'll have the Quest High-Speed Pitch brought to you by Quest High-Speed Internet.
Mark Carmona with that sinker and that straight fastball clocked at 96. And Scott Baker at 93. It's been a frustrating year for Carmona. Came into the ball game 3 wins, 10 losses, an ERA of about 6.5.
Sipp, who had a short outing last night, had an error behind him and then walked Joe Mauer, and that was pretty much the end of his night. Comes in here with the Indians trailing a couple of runs. By and large, in a season that's otherwise been full of disappointment for the Indians, they might have found somebody here in Tony Sipp.
Well, they thought they found somebody last year in Rafael Perez. Perez, finished the season extremely strong and out of that bullpen for the Indians. But Sip has been up and down between the big leagues and the minor leagues, AAA Columbus, for 3 different stints. He's got a great arm.
Matt Laporta, kind of a man without a position. He's playing a number of them, and Laporta's throw from right field, as you said, had it been on target, would have nailed Buescher easily.
Well, you see they had a little second hop right there, and Larson unable to hold it when Scotty Alger was holding up Brian Buescher. He ran right through that stop sign.
Don't know whether that's the extent of Laporta's arm, but that's not a strong throw from the right fielder to have it take 2 hops to get to the plate. Here's Span with Sip on the mound and Punto alertly scampering to second. We talked at the very outset about the Metrodome magic, and is there anything left here at the Metrodome in terms of magic for the Twins? Well, witness what's happened here in the 6th. Young hit a chopper. It looked like it hit off the corner of the plate. Play nearly made by Peralta, instead a leadoff double. Span swings and misses. Buescher and Punto deliver hits. And just like that, the Twins have a 2-run lead. 2 strikes to Span. Single and a run scored back in the 1st. Still 2 strikes.
Well, Sip, 26 years old, in his 6th year of pro ball, getting his first taste at the major league level this year.
Left a pitch up and Span with a pretty hefty swing and a foul back.
He went through the Tommy John surgery back in 2006, missed all of 2007.
Another 2-strike pitch to the Twins leadoff hitter. Dug out by Marson.
Cabrera at short, really keeping Punto close to second because Punto could try to steal third. Sip will give him a couple looks.
Did he check his swing? Yep. And it's 2-2. Span still the best Twins hitter among regular players against left-handed hitters, or left-handed pitchers, I should say. Actually hit him better than Joe Mauer. Foul back. The Twins have a lot of hitters who've done well against lefties. Orlando Cabrera's hit them at a .318 clip. Brendan Harris at .301. Mauer .324. Span at .329 and Delman Young .304. We've seen a lot of left-handed pitching, and some guys at least have handled it really well.
Yeah, since the All-Star break, the Twins are hitting .287 against left-handed pitchers.
Two and 2. And this is one of the reasons Span does so well against lefties. He's got a very discerning eye at the plate. can extend counts 3-2.
Well, he doesn't give way. He pretty much is right on top of that plate. He gets in front of that left-handed batter's box. He'll foul off some nasty pitches and hope that that left-hander leaves a pitch up. See where stands in the box. And that's a good pitch.
At the outside corner and finally strikes out Span 2 away.
Yeah, that slider froze him right there. So Sip comes in and picks up a big strikeout. Watch this little cutter right here.
So Span retired on strikes, and here's Cabrera, who tied the game with a leadoff home run his last time up. Blocked by Marson. We're told that there's a big brawl at Yankee Stadium. Roy Halladay handcuffing the Yankees for the most part. And he hit Posada, and that touched off a brawl. Yankees with a comfortable lead in the American League East, 7.5 games. Hit pretty well to the right field corner. Laporta chasing it and running it down on the edge of the track. Nice running catch by the rookie outfielder. The Twins get 3 hits and a couple of runs in the bottom of the 6th. John Roush, who did a great job, threw a couple pitches, got a big double play ball off the bat of Andy Marte. He stands to be the pitcher of record here if this lead.
He's already 2-1 as a Twin. So why not make him 3-1? So pitch a shutout inning here. Jose Mahara starting to loosen up in the Twins bullpen.
Matt Laporta will lead things off here in the 7th inning. Ball 1. Laporta, Marson, and Crow. Bottom third of the Cleveland lineup. Pop straight up. Mauer with a look. And a catch. Twins on the game summary getting a first inning run.
Yeah, Joe Mauer, an RBI single right there. That gave the Twins a 1-0 lead. But then in the 4th inning, the Indians scored 3 runs. RBI single by Peralta. After with a double, then a sacrifice fly by Marte. RBI single by Laporta. Orlando Cabrera made it a 3-2 ball game. Excuse me, tied it up at 3-3 in the 5th. just saw right there Brian Busher driving in Delman Young.
Now a foul down by the Cleveland bullpen.
Punto having a good night at the plate. A double, an RBI single, an RBI single. 3 for 3 with a couple RBI.
Now to center, and Span puts it away. 2 quick outs. And that'll bring up Trevor Crowe. Cliff Lee, the former Indian, shut out the Nationals on 6 hits. Pretty good trade for the Phillies to get the former Indian Cy Young Award winner.
Does that make him 7-2 over there now?
They're going to be very tough for anybody to beat. And we might have back-to-back world champions before it's all said and done for the first time in a while. Crowe's 0 for 2, a couple of ground balls. And another called strike, 2 strikes.
Well, Roush at 6'11" will give you that over the arm, straight over the top angle that not too many hitters see. Goes out of Jackie Robinson up there.
And into right field, a base hit. So Crowe aboard with the 2-out single, and that'll take us back to the top of the order and Michael Brantley.
And with a left-hander coming up, Ron Gardenhire is going to make the move. Jose Maharis was warming up. So good job by John Roush.
Go to Yankee Stadium and show you kind of what happened with they had thrown behind Jorge Posada after hitting him earlier in the game. Jesse Carlson, the pitcher for the Blue Jays. A little bit of a bump there with Carlson getting bumped by the runner coming in, and then it all broke loose. Manager Joe Girardi in the middle of it. Carlson clearly was bumped as the runner. I don't know if it was Posada or who it was.
I don't know who the umpire is right there. Look, the umpire is
Jim Joyce, isn't it?
Is it?
I think it's Jim Joyce. Of course, the Blue Jays going nowhere, and the Yankees hope that no one got hurt in the fracas and no one would be suspended. But as tightly as they police these things, you'd think there would be suspensions coming out of that. Here's Jose Maharis with a runner at first and 2 away.
Maharis making his 60th relief appearance. He last worked here on Saturday when he struck out a career-high 4 in that outing against the Oakland A's in an inning and 2/3. Very good ERA for Maharis at 2.10.
Brantley 0 for 3, a strikeout, a ground ball, and a fly ball. And strike 2. Twins bullpen picking up the game with 1 out in the 6th. Roush getting a double play grounder, getting the first 2 men in the 7th. And now Maharis finishes off the Indians in the 7th inning. And the Twins have a 5-3 lead. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by Aflac, we've got you under our wing.
A Mountain Dew fan of the game, you're hiding back there somewhere.
All right, those are some sideburns right there. Joe Mauer would be envious.
Yes, he would.
And it's Joe Mauer leading off the Twins. Home half of the seventh. Mauer singled in a run in the first. He walked in the third and bounced out to second in the fifth. Facing Tony Sipp. Sipp walked him last night and exited the ball game. Ball one. And outside 2-0. Sipp got Span and Cabrera to wrap up the sixth, but by then the Twins had already taken a 5-3 lead. And a strike on the inside corner. Right now a 19-point lead for Joe, but we found over the last couple of weeks or so that could be as few as 3-4 games with the way Ichiro can rack up hits. Three and one. With Morneau's absence for the balance of this year, a little extra burden put on Joe's shoulders. Michael Cuddyer, Delman Young, Jason Kubel. Big swing by Mauer and a foul straight back. Cuddyer delivered last night the home run with 2 men aboard that got the game tied. Twins went on to score 3 more. The players knew last night by the start of the game that Morneau was going to be done for the year. We didn't know until afterwards. So all that's left now for Justin to do is to heal and get ready for 2010. Everybody else has got to roll up their sleeves a little bit higher. Three and two to Mauer, leading off the bottom of the seventh. To left center field. Crow won't chase it. A ground rule double. 2 hits tonight after a 3-hit game last night. And again to left field.
Well, again, able to get good wood on that ball. Crow, the left fielder, playing about even up. And Joe slicing that ball toward that left center field gap. Not a bad pitch. Just went down, hit it sharply. Ball over the head of Crow and then bouncing out for a ground rule double. For Mauer, his 26th double of the year. That's a leadoff double here in the bottom of the seventh.
Here's Kubel taking ball one.
Take a look at the ball bounce into the he's getting out of the way. Hey, don't spill the beer. My goodness.
He missed out on a Joe Mauer ground rule double, and half the beer ends up on the floor.
Hit the ball. Spilled some beer.
2-0. And the young lady behind him got the souvenir.
Yeah, she didn't move. Only he did.
Two and 0 to Kubel. And a strike. Well, last night Mauer reached 4 times. Tonight he's reached 3 times, and you can see the spread of his hits with almost a 2-for-1 split. Twice as many to the opposite field as to his pull field. 2 and 2.
Two good sliders right there to Kubel.
I'm sure he's seen too many fastballs after the one he cranked into the upper deck last night. He has hit 7 home runs this year against the Indians. Bounce to the right side. Sip will let the first baseman do it himself.
A productive out right there by Kubel.
And that'll bring Eric Wedge out. He'll bring a right-hander in to pitch to Michael Cuddyer.
And Kubel should get high fives all around for right there. Even though he grounded out, he did his job, and that's moving the runner Mauer from second to third.
Bring the family out Sunday for Kids Appreciation Day as the Twins host the Tigers. Final game of this long homestand. All kids will get the Twins team poster courtesy of Cub Foods, General Mills, and Land O'Lakes. Prize drawings for kids during the game, and they can run the bases afterwards. Kids Appreciation tickets are available by calling 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com. So Cuddyer coming to the plate with Mauer 90 feet away. Twins fans hoping that the Twins can take advantage of the Detroit loss and close the gap to 4.5 games. Jose Veras has not pitched well for the Indians since coming over in a trade.
He came over from the New York Yankee organization for cash considerations back in the latter part of June. Vargas with a fastball, big slider, and a changeup. Pitched for the Yankees for 3+ seasons, up and down between there and the minor leagues. From the Dominican Republic.
Somebody texting the fan who spilled his beer. Well, Cuddyer coming up with a chance to pick up an RBI, and a big one. The Twins already lead by a couple. One thing we noticed last night, once they got going, and even tonight, they've advanced runners. They've had productive outs. They've played a style of baseball that we've grown accustomed to seeing from Twins teams over the years. Less so this year than others, and Indians now will be bringing the infield in here during the Cuddyer at bat. Fastball outside the ball. Indians from the outset this year had cavities in their bullpen, and they tried to resolve those issues, acquiring Veras, Chris Perez from the Cardinals in trades that just never really did work for them. Perez has been pretty good up until his outing last night. 2-0. And Young will follow Cuddyer. It just seems like year to year the bullpen is the most volatile spot on a baseball team. You just can't count from one year to the next. The guys who are good one year seem to struggle the next. We went through it with Juan Rincon. Indians went through it with Betancourt and Perez this year. Fouled back. Cuddyer swinging away on 3-0.
They had the green light right there. That's the way it is in baseball now, with starters, asked to go 5 or 6 innings. That puts so much pressure on that bullpen. Sometimes it's not how many times they come out into a ball game, it's how many times they loosen up down there in that bullpen.
Breaking ball. Cuddyer watches it drop over the plate. 3-2.
That's a big slider right there.
3-2 to Kadire. Got him with a breaking ball. 2 down.
Well, big breaking ball right here on 3-2. Good tight rotation, and Kadire swinging at a pitch out of the strike zone.
Well, the Twins in danger now of squandering Mauer's leadoff double. Delman Young doubled just out of the reach of Peralta to start the 6th. Ball 1. Two 2-0. Crack foul. And it's 2-1. Getting a run in the 1st, 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and then taking the lead. They hope for good in the 6th. Cabrera with a home run that tied the game. And now 2-2. $19,035 the paid attendance tonight. Two and 2 to Delman Young. And he fouled it to the screen. Chopper at the plate. Young battling.
Yeah, that fastball kind of jumping on him right there, able to foul it off to keep this bat going.
Another 2-2 to Delman Young. Right off the end of the bat. Veras ended up getting a big strikeout of Kadire with back-to-back breaking pitches, and now Young trying to fight off the spinners from Veras. Mauer still at third after his leadoff double. Twins don't want to waste it. Foul tip, and Marson took it off the mask, it sounded like. Veras reloads, another 2-2 pitch. And a breaking ball got him, so the Twins get the leadoff double, but strand Mauer third. It's still 5-3. beautiful night in Minneapolis, and pretty good looking score too. 5-3, the Twins in front. Twins are trying to pin this down with some effective relief pitching. They've gotten it so far, and now Matt Guerrero comes out of the Twins pen in the 8th.
Yeah, Matt making his 70th relief appearance. He last worked on Saturday against the Oakland A's. One shutout inning. Very good 2.27 ERA for Matt. And 67 in a third innings. 45 strikeouts, only 12 walks.
Ball one. Carroll, Cabrera, and Peralta to face Guerrero here in the Cleveland 8th. Says that's a strike. 1-1. Carlos Gomez is out in center field with Denard Span moving over to right. And shattered bat. The ball or the bat broke right at the handle. And Carroll's aboard with a leadoff hit in the 8th.
His second hit of the ball game, a base hit off of Baker leading off that 3-run 4th. And right here in the 8th, a leadoff single.
Twins couldn't do anything with the leadoff double. Now the Indians come back with a leadoff single.
You see the barrel of the bat exploding in the hands of Carroll when he gets his second hit. For the Indians, their 7th of the ball game.
Here's Cabrera. And a strike at the knees. Hope that their inability to get Mauer around after his leadoff double doesn't come back and haunt them here. Indians trying to do something with a leadoff hit. Middle of the lineup due up now. Tap foul, 2 strikes. Carroll can run a little bit. Stole a base in the 4th. Ground ball towards second. Punto fires to second, and he gets the out with Cabrera fielding the throw, and that lead runner again choked off at second base.
Good play right there by Nick Punto, under control, making sure, because you're not going to turn a double play on this ball. Cabrera gets jammed right here. Punto going to his left, and then making a nice, good throw over to Cabrera for the force out.
So 1 down, and here's Peralta. Peralta has still not bounced into a double play for us.
We're not televising tomorrow, so you better do it right here.
This is going to be it here. It might be his last chance. Ball 1. No television tomorrow. One of the few games left this year that isn't going to be on TV, but it will be on the Fox Sports North Squeeze Play tomorrow. 7 o'clock. All the key plays. All the Joe Mauer hits. Mauer almost certainly wouldn't catch tomorrow, but hard to take him out of the lineup with Morneau out for the rest of the year. So a pretty good bet that Mauer would be the designated hitter. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and Monday and Tuesday in Chicago, all on TV, on one outlet or another. What do they say? Check your local listings. That's high and deep to center. Gomez is back within range. He makes the catch, out number 2. The 2 down, and that'll bring up Hafner. drilled a double over the head of Jason Kubel in right field at the time back in the 4th inning. And then Ron Mayhay brought into the game to retire him in the 6th, and Mayhay hit him. There's Rick Anderson to the mound with Liriano warming up.
As Liriano warms up, he just kind of got up, so it's going to take a while for him to get loose. That's the biggest thing for Liriano. You know, he hasn't relieved since 2006.
Right.
How quick can he get ready? Anderson taking a little extra time, letting Liriano throw a little bit more down there.
They have said all along that ideally what they would like, and they did it when he pitched out of the pen the other day, let him start an inning and allow him to ease into this relief pitching if in fact that's the role he is going to pitch in, certainly this year, maybe even next year. Now Hafner, a dangerous hitter, representing the tying run. And a strike.
They're shaving the outside part of the plate.
Seattle has a 3-0 lead over Chicago in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Tigers have already lost. Mauer keeps it near home plate and keeps Cabrera at first. What was the best you saw? And you had a lot of guys catch you at blocking pitches.
Well, I almost have to say all my catchers. You know, they all did a great job. To say one, Jim Sundberg comes to mind. Lance Parrish was very good at it. Tim Laudner was very good at it. You know, I threw a lot of curveballs, so I had to have a lot of confidence in my catchers.
Chopper to the right side, right at Punto.
Big out.
And Guerrero gets the job done. Pitches around the leadoff single. It's still 5-3 Twins.
We will look tonight at the Twins offense and rallying from behind with big runs in the middle innings of the game tonight. Plus our instructional, Ron Coomer and Bert Blyleven are on the field to look at getting on top of the ball, throwing downward, how a pitcher executes that and how a hitter adjusts to that. Plus we'll bring you reaction from Ron Gardenhire and inside the Twins clubhouse, all coming up immediately after the final out. Following that final out. Dick and Bert.
Wow, celebrating, thank you, Marty. Celebrating her 86th birthday, their 63 years of marriage. And you are hereby circled.
Brian Busher leads off the 8th for the Twins. Big swing and a miss, 1 strike. Busher got a big hit, an RBI single in the 6th that gave the Twins a lead. Punto followed with an RBI hit, and the Twins opened up a 5-3 lead, and that's where we're at. 1-1.
You know, with Justin not in the lineup, it's going to give opportunities. We talk about Gomez and Young, but also guys like Busher and Tolbert, giving them an opportunity to get some at bats. Busher, that big RBI single. Tolbert, even though he's 0 for 3, he got a couple hits in last night's ball game. Made some nice plays at third base.
Advanced runners,
yep.
You know. It's hard to take 30 home runs and 100 RBIs out of your lineup at this juncture of the season, but the Twins for the next nearly 3 weeks will not make excuses. Busher's hit by a pitch, and he'll go to first. And the leadoff man's on here in the 8th. That'll bring up Matt Tolbert. Now, in the last 3 plate appearances for Tolbert, he's come to the plate with Busher at first. Once after a walk, once after a single, and now being hit by a pitch. And in the last 2 plate appearances, there's Casilla now running for Busher. And for the time being, will stay in the DH spot. Tolbert has hit a little ground ball to the first baseman and been able to advance the runner with the runner going. Here, this might be just a straight steal.
Well, maybe a bunting situation here for Tolbert as they throw over to see if maybe Tolbert commits early.
Casilla still perfect on the season. He's 10 for 10. He just hasn't been to first base enough this year.
Tolbert has 6 sacrifices on the year. A good bunt.
Picture perfect bunt. Tolbert retired. Casilla to second. So Casilla now at second will blow away. And that'll bring up the suddenly hot Nick Punto.
Good job right there by Tolbert, doing what he's asked to do, and that's to advance the runner from first to second. Getting high fives all around.
And now Punto, who doubled in the 2nd, singled in a run in the 4th, and did it again in the 6th. Squaring to bunt and taking a ball.
Hey, notice that Peralta was playing a deep third base. Kind of brings Johnny Peralta in a little bit. Peralta was back here before the pitch.
Foul. Now, hitting .233 isn't going to be on page 1 of your Christmas letter during the off season, but it's the direction that it's been heading for Punto. Keeping in mind, of course, he started the year as the Twins shortstop. Now he's become the second baseman, and he's trying to have a strong finish to an otherwise disappointing year.
He's on a 6-game hitting streak, 8 hits in his last 18 at bats.
Foul over the head of Scotty Alger and off an empty seat. 1-2.
Well, if you bring your glove, you're supposed to catch it. Wow, especially that.
Look at the size of that thing.
My goodness.
It's like TC's glove.
It's like Dan Gladden's glove out of left field.
1-2 to Punto. See if he's got a 4-hit night in him. Drives it a long way, hooking it foul. Brett fires it. Nope.
heard the Vikings got Brett Favre. Just heard that the other day.
The what now?
That he's with the Vikings, Brett Favre.
Really?
Yeah.
1-2. Hard drawn ball hit right at Peralta, and a high throw, and Punto is out at first. Out number 2, and it looked from here as Punto got to the bag before Marte came down, back down on top of it.
Well, Peralta made a nice play right there on that hard hit ball, but Punto hustling down that line. And what Marte did, he went straight up and came straight down. You see the throw, high throw, Marte going up and then coming back down. And we'll take another look right here. Right back, and you can see the back heel of that right foot hitting the bag. Nice play by Marte right there.
Carl Willis to the mound. And Casilla still at second base. Twins and Tigers renew their Central Division rivalry Friday night. Good seats are available for all 3 games this weekend as the Twins try to close the gap on the Detroit Tigers. You can reserve your seats for the second to final weekend at the Dome by calling 800-33-TWINS or log on to twinsbaseball.com. Royals got 4 runs in the first, went on to win 11-1. Jared Washburn going just 1 inning for Detroit in his start. Here's Span. White Sox trying to come back on Seattle. It's 3-2 in the 4th inning. And just for simplicity's sake, it's important for the Twins to stay ahead of Chicago because the Tigers have as many games left with Chicago as they do with the Twins. It'd be nice to be able to pull for the White Sox all the time. See if they can run off a late surge on the Tigers as well. 1 strike to Span. Keep a close eye on Casilla.
Yeah, a couple times Vargas has done that.
All the while, Nathan warming up down in the Twins bullpen. One and one. Got the save last night. Might have an opportunity for number 40 tonight. Foul, 1-2. One and 2 to the Twins leadoff hitter. And Vargas screams as he strikes out Span. The Twins leave another runner in scoring position. A 2-run lead for Nathan in the ninth. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Scott Baker and 5 relievers trying to pin down the Indians here, and reliever number 5, pitcher number 6 on the night for the Twins, Joe Nathan.
Well, Nathan picked up his 39th save in last night's 6-3 win over the Indians. 21 pitches, 13 for strikes, a walk with a couple strikeouts. Nathan with that very good 2.16 ERA. Brian Fuentes of the Angels leads the American League with 41 saves. Then Rivera with the Yankees with 40, and Nathan with 39.
Ball 1. Luis Valbuena hitting in Andy Marte's spot. Laporta on deck. Lou Marson, the next scheduled hitter.
Valbuena, the first hitter that Joe Nathan faced in last night's ball game and struck him out. Excuse me, the second hitter struck him out.
Up high, 2-0. And a strike. Valbuena taking all the way. Indians got 3 runs last night. Tonight got all 3 runs so far in the 4th inning against Scott Baker. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Punch to left. Cabrera out, makes a nice catch. Just a little chip shot to short left field, and Cabrera was able to get under it for the first out.
Good concentration, nice play right there by Cabrera, because he took his eye off that ball to kind of look back and then caught up to that ball. Very nice defensive play. Kind of an inside out swing. Cabrera going a long way to flag that down.
And now Laporta, an RBI single in that 3-run 4th. Ball 1. Nathan falls behind Laporta 2-0. Came back to get Valbuena after falling behind 2-0. There's the outside corner. Blasted to right center field. Laporta gives it a ride and sends it out halfway up the fold-up seats, and it's 5-4. Fifth of the year for Matt Laporta, and it's a 1-run game.
He got a fastball, did not miss it. Hit that ball a long way. Went with that fastball. That ball went about halfway up.
Shin-Soo Choo will hit in the ninth. Marson's spot. Fans starting a Let's Go Joe chant. Hook foul, strike one.
Well, that home run allowed by Nathan, his 6th of the year.
2 for 7 in his matchups against Nathan. Another one pulled foul with authority. 2 strikes.
Chu hit a home run in last night's ball game against Pavano in the 4th inning. Got a fastball away and hit it over that left field fence. Let's go, Joe.
It's working. He's getting the fans around him to start the chant. 2 strikes. Check swing. Strike 3. 2 away.
Well, the Indians aren't happy with that call right there by Adrian Johnson, the third base umpire. Looked like a breaking ball down. Look at the pitch right here. Chu trying to hold up. Joe Mauer tagging him right there, then asking for help. And Johnson saying he went.
2 down. Trevor Crow hit a home run last night. Beer at the game tonight after a case of Red Bull this afternoon. Ready to go. 1-0 to Crow. And Nathan falls behind him 2-0. Came back again to get Valbuena. He fell behind Laporta and paid the price with the home run.
He's almost done.
Oh, man.
He's almost done. Come on, keep it going.
3-0. And Brantley on deck. Nathan with 15 pitches, just 8 strikes. Hasn't walked anybody, but he's fallen behind just about everybody. At the belt, 3-1. I don't know about you at home, but I don't think that one particular fan can take much more of this.
How about one of those sacrifice flies right here?
Ooh. Ball 4. And the tying run's at first. The go-ahead run comes to the plate in Michael Brantley.
Mauer just go out to give him a little breather right here. Rick Anderson's going to do the same. Oh, he went with a 3-1 breaking ball to Crow and just missed. Don't want to make a mistake with that fastball and that little cutter.
A little low, I guess. So imagine now if Chu had not struck out, if he had checked his swing, according to Adrian Johnson. As it is, there are 2 outs. And Brantley to the plate. Brantley 0 for 4 with a pair of strikeouts tonight. Strike 1.
See, people will follow.
Trevor Crow with 4 steals in 4 tries. And Nathan can't ignore him here. One and one. Brantley, as a big leaguer, has gotten a lot of hits, 17 of them, but only one extra base hit, a double. And there's a throw to first. Brantley in the big leagues for the first time, and at least facially looks like he's been here 100 times before. One and one. There goes Crow. Pitches outside and an easy steal at second without a throw.
Well, Joe, with that high leg kick, pretty easy to steal against, and Crow got a very good jump. Mauer deciding not to throw it. So Crow steals his 5th base of the year. It's a 3rd stolen base for the Indians here tonight.
And it's 2-1 now to Brantley. Two and one. Lifted to left.
There's that sacrifice fly.
Delman Young ends the game, and the Twins draw to within 4.5 of the Tigers, and they've now won 3 in a row. Nathan got the save, gave up a home run. Delman Young scored a run, and the Twins have won this series with the first couple games of the series. And Anthony, the pennant race